Hey, welcome to The Explainer. In today's world, your personal data is basically a form of currency. It's incredibly valuable. And today, we're diving into how Brazil is completely rewriting the rules of the game with its massive data privacy law, the LGPD.
So before we get buried in all the legal stuff, let's just start with a really simple question that affects every single one of us. Who actually controls your personal data? Seriously, think about it. Your name, where you are, the things you buy, the stuff you like online. Who holds the keys to all of that information? Well, that's the exact question Brazil's LGPD is designed to answer.
All right, first up, Brazil's new data rules. We're going to break down the absolute basics, what this law actually is, what kind of info it covers, and who really needs to pay attention to it.
So at its core, the LGPD, which stands for Lei Geral de Proteção de Dados, is Brazil's big answer to data privacy. And Article 1 of the law makes its purpose crystal clear. It's all about protecting your fundamental rights of freedom and privacy as an individual. The whole idea is to put the remote control for your own information back in your hand.
Okay, so what kind of info are we talking about here? The law calls it dado pessoal, or personal data, and it defines it really broadly. Article 5 says it's pretty much any piece of information that can be linked back to you. We're talking about the obvious things, like your name and email, but it also covers your ID numbers, your location, even your computer's IP address.
But then, the LGPD creates this special, much more protected category, dado pessoal sensível, or sensitive personal data. Now, this is the kind of information that could really be used to discriminate against someone. Things like your race, your political opinions, your health records, or biometric data like a fingerprint. Because this stuff has the potential to cause real harm, it gets the highest level of protection under the law. So this distinction is absolutely crucial to understand. Your name? That's personal data. Your health records? That's sensitive personal data. The law recognizes that if sensitive data gets misused, it can cause way more damage. So naturally, the rules for collecting and using it are much tougher.
Now you might be thinking, okay, so this is just for companies based in Brazil, right? Nope. This is where it gets really interesting. This law has a massive global reach. According to Article 3, it doesn't matter where in the world your company is located. If you process data that's in Brazil, or you offer services to people in Brazil, or you collected data from someone who is in Brazil, guess what? This law applies to you. It's a truly global piece of legislation.
So we know what the law is, but what does it mean for you personally? Let's talk about the new powers this law gives you over your own data. This is all about your data, your rights. This quote from Article 17, this is the absolute bedrock of the entire law. The message couldn't be simpler. You own your personal data. It doesn't belong to the company that collected it. It belongs to you. And that fundamental principle of ownership is where all your power comes from.
And based on that idea of ownership, Article 18 gives you this incredible toolkit of rights. You now have the right to ask any company, hey, are you using my data? And get a straight answer. You can get a full copy of it. You can correct anything that's wrong or out of date. And this one is huge. You can ask them to delete data they no longer need. You can even take your data and move it to a competitor. Oh, and you can change your mind and revoke your consent anytime you want. Plus, you get to know exactly who they've shared your info with. It's a complete game changer.
And check this out, because this is so incredibly relevant for the world we live in. Under Article 20, if an algorithm, a computer program, makes an important decision about you, like for a loan application or a new job, you can actually demand that a real human being review that decision. It's a powerful safeguard against the growing power of AI in our lives.
All right, so we've covered our rights. Now let's flip the coin and look at the other side. The new rules and responsibilities for any business or organization that's handling our data.
The law defines two key players here. First, there's the controlador, or the controller. This is the company that's calling the shots, the one deciding why and how to process your data. Think of a social media company. Then there's the operador, or operator. This is the company doing the work on behalf of the controller, like a cloud storage provider. Both have responsibilities, but ultimately, the controller is the one in the driver's seat.
So, what's on their new to-do list? Well, for starters, they have to process data lawfully, which usually means getting your direct consent. They also have to be completely transparent about what they're doing with it.
They have to protect it with strong security measures. And finally, most of them now need to appoint a data protection officer, an encargado, who acts as the main point of contact for you, the company, and the authorities.
Okay, so you've got rights and businesses have rules. But what happens if they break those rules? That's where we get to the fun part, the watchdog and its bite. Let's talk about enforcement. Meet the referee. This is the ANPD, the National Data Protection Authority. It's the independent government body that was created specifically to oversee and enforce the LGPD. These are the people who will investigate complaints, give guidance, and when they need to, bring down the hammer.
And let's be clear, this law is not messing around. The ANPD has a whole range of penalties it can use against companies that don't comply. And they are designed to be, well, let's just say they're designed to be severe.
Yeah, just take a look at that number, 50 million reais. According to Article 52, fines can go all the way up to 2% of a company's revenue in Brazil, capped at a maximum of 50 million reais. That's around 10 million US dollars. And here's the real kicker. That's per infraction. A number like that is guaranteed to get the attention of every boardroom on the planet.
But it's not just about the money. The ANPD has other powers that can be even more disruptive for a business. They can issue public warnings. They can literally block access to the data that was involved in the violation. They can suspend a company's processing activities. And in the most serious cases, they could just ban those data activities altogether. For a modern tech company, a penalty like that could be even more devastating than a fine. So, the LGPD creates a whole new reality. For us as individuals, it gives us an amazing level of control. For businesses, it demands a completely new level of accountability. It really comes down to that old saying, with great data comes great responsibility. And the final question for all of us, as citizens, as consumers, as organizations, is simply, are we ready for it? Thanks for watching The Explainer.